Hello, everybody. Right now, I'd like to talk about CBS and Bari Weiss, who's now in control of the news division over at CBS. Bari Weiss is a talking head on the internet who owns a publication on the internet called The Free Press. It is an opinion-based news outlet. It's full of nonsense. You can go read into stuff if you want. You can check it out, but it's kind of mostly low IQ kind of stuff. But that's kind of the thing. Bari Weiss, who's going to be in charge of a news division, is not a journalist herself. She was an opinion piece writer at the New York Times, which she left in disgrace. But she's going to be basically an authoritarian loyalist. She's going to use the CBS, and she's going to turn it into Fox News Light, and she's going to normalize things like troops and the military being in the cities. She's going to normalize ICE grabbing people off the streets, and she's going to normalize really any of the shenanigans that's going to come down with the Trump administration, because based on who she is and how she is, I'm kind of guessing she's just in it for the money. Now, she did just sell her publication that I just referred to as low IQ for about $150 million. So maybe I'm low IQ, because I didn't make $150 million doing this. But if you really look at it, CBS just bought a publication for $150 million that makes $15 million a year in ad revenue. That's without taxes and expenses. So what they did is they're just throwing money at a problem to really keep Larry Ellison and Donald Trump, and I'll get into him in a second, happy that they're willing to trash their entire news division over it. Now, Larry Ellison is the figure involved in this. He's the one who owns Paramount, and he also owns CBS. A lot of the merger that was happening over the summer, a lot of the shenanigans that the appeals courts pulled, and the firing of Stephen Colbert was done by Larry Ellison to appease Donald Trump. Now, he's not doing this just to capitulate because he has to. Larry Ellison is a full-blown oligarch and a fascist. He wants an authoritarian government. It's just like, unlike him, Donald Trump is kind of undisciplined and stupid. So Larry Ellison wants a smart, dignified authoritarian. But like the oldest trick in the book, those types never seem to rise to power. But without going into the weeds of that, Larry Ellison is in charge of CBS that has capitulated to Trump and created more normalization of authoritarian politics, such as ICE grabbing people off the streets, about military being in the streets, and it's slowly becoming Fox News Light. Now, the more and more they do this, the more and more they lose in ratings, and they lose in the ability to reach people, but it's still going to be a powerhouse for a voting bloc of people that are over 40. So what am I getting at here? Larry Ellison, an oligarch, just put Bari Weiss, a dumbass, in charge of a formally respected news organization to appease Donald Trump to get more friendly press. He's also going to use his position at Oracle to generate Trump-friendly feeds on TikTok because they control the algorithms. But what he's not going to do is ever just stop. So after Donald Trump is gone, Larry Ellison will still be around. But the good news is this. Putting an idiot in charge of a bunch of smart people, it never works out in the long run. Because no, I'm not going to say this. Not everybody that works at the news division of CBS is a genius, but most of the journalists are legitimate journalists. Some of them actually know what they're doing, and most of them know how to do the job. So it's going to be unstable. It's going to lead to insubordination and loss of respect from the staff. And it's going to be a complete just dog show behind the scenes. And CBS and Larry Ellison's willing to do that to their own company, to their own employees, to appease somebody that wants to turn this country authoritarian. It'd be funny if I didn't live in this country. Bottom line, stop listening to CBS. They're terrible.